Introducing Mr. Money.
Send your money
instantly.
Top up your airtime
Instantly.
Pay your bills
Instantly.
Airtel money
Instantly.
Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. And also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money
Instantly.
Top up your airtime
Instantly.
Pay your bills
Instantly.
Airtel money
Instantly.
Hi, I am Mr. Money, and I bring you Airtel Money, the fastest, safest way to send money, pay bills, top up, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
Apple Max. Take it to the max.
Want to just get out of town with your friends and family? Are you having a corporate getaway and have no adequate transport? Then this here is what you need to listen to. A brand new 35-seater Yutong luxury bus is now up for hire at an affordable and negotiable rate. It comes fully equipped with aircon, TV for your relaxation, music soothing your trip, and DVD players to give you variety. Book now by calling 0955 0966 or 977 844 141.
What makes the new Yo-Yo Chipsy so unique? 100% natural ingredients. Nothing artificial. Just a pure experience of freshness. Chipsy potato chips. We know you'll love them.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Your jungle.
Martha Namanja to present the Prime Television's main news. Thank you so much for joining us. And now the headlines. Increase in road accidents attributed to lack of motor vehicle fitness. COMESA and EU launch program to fight maritime piracy in COMESA member states. PF wins 3 of the 5 parliamentary by-elections. And in international news, Pistorius found guilty of culpable homicide. Stay tuned for the details. Thank you so much for staying tuned. And now the menus in detail. A Germany motor vehicle testing company, Maha, has attributed an increase in road traffic accidents in the country to unfitness of motor vehicles still on the roads. Company local representative Anthony Mumba says a lot of vehicles moving on the Zambian roads are not roadworthy. He says failure to stop unworthy vehicles moving on the roads will cause more loss of lives, especially those using public transport. Mr. Mumba speaking at a meeting held in Lusaka. He adds that the situation has been made worse with drivers that move on the road without undergoing proper driving tests.
Fastest growing economies in Africa, Zambia has seen an increase in the number of motor vehicles on its roads. This has, however, come with negative consequences, as there has been a rise in road traffic accidents from 400 in 2012 to 6,000 in 2014. This increase has been attributed to negligence and lack of proper motor vehicle fitness. In order to curb the number 3 killer in the country, the Road Transport and Safety Agency RATSA introduced a number of safety measures, such as not drinking under the influence of alcohol. Despite a number of safety measures, these accidents are still on the rise, a situation that has continued to raise concern, with Maha, a Germany-based motor vehicle testing company, calling for stronger measures. Company local representative Anthony Mumba has called on RATSA to consider moving from manual way of inspecting vehicles to embracing new technology that will outline all faults on the vehicle.
Zambia is amongst the 10 fastest growing economies, meaning you are in the spotlight. So if you're in the spotlight, investors usually will look for like to like. What is it that you're doing that well-developed countries are equally doing? We're building roads, infrastructure we're building, but we are also not saying that no, we can't buy second-hand cars. Second-hand cars world over, I lived in the United Kingdom for 5 years, are always going to be there. Cars are 20 years old, Mercedes-Benz, I've seen Mercedes-Benz 20 years old. The key is, what are the basic things that this equipment is supposed to do? It's supposed to tell you whether you've got bulbs on. You find sometimes in the night you're driving, some chap is on full beam, you flash him, he reduces it to low beam, he has only got one bulb. But what are the chances that he will remember to put that car back on full beam? Probably a truck which is coming right behind me will not notice that it's a car. It will look like a motorbike. You have another accident.
And Commuter Rights Association of Zambia has observed that the increase in accidents is as a result of lack of sensitization on road safety.
A great deal of sensitization with other stakeholders, especially that you've talked of Zambia Bureau of Standards, RATSA, they are not here, and even the police, I don't think they are present in this meeting. We want to start using this equipment now. I think it's not easy. And also on the technical part, that we don't want to have a situation where we had with the Zamtis, where we used to, the suppliers, they are somewhere else, wherever there's a malfunction or a breakdown, we have to call those guys to come and work on this machine. We pay for every expense, their tickets, the hotel.
Martha Namanje, Prime TV News, Lusaka.
The Lusaka Province Administration says it has adequately put in place measures to deal with any possible calamities arising from the rainy season. Lusaka Province Permanent Secretary Wamunyima Mwana, in an interview with Prime TV News, says the provincial administration has set up a task force committee to see how best they can address such challenges. Mr. Mwana has outlined the construction of drainages as part of the administration's effort in combating floods in the province. He has expressed confidence that with the measures put in place, Lusaka province should not experience any flooding as a result of heavy rains.
5,000. 2,000. In Lusaka, we want Miss Lusaka province not to die with the jubilee. We want this function, this event, to grow in stature and raise the bar to a new level of excellence. So I want to promise you today that in Lusaka, the end of Jubilee will not mark the end of the Miss Lusaka Province competition.
The ruling Patriotic Front PF has scooped 3 out of the 5 constituency parliamentary by-elections held around the country, while the opposition UPND and MMD have shared the other 2 constituencies. The PF won Zambezi West, Vubwi and Mukushi South constituencies, while the UPND candidate for Solwezi Central, Darwin Kavwaya, was declared winner with 4,577 votes. MMD's Victoria Kalima had a massive lead in Kasenengwa by-election with 3,797 votes, beating other rivals. Voting in all the 5 by-elections ended without any incidences of political violence. By-elections were being held in Solwezi Central, Zambezi West, Mukushi South, Kasenengwa and Vubwi constituencies. The Common Market for Eastern and Southern Africa, COMESA, with the European Union, has launched a regional maritime security program aimed at increasing security in member states. Speaking during the signing agreement, COMESA's Secretary General Cindy Songwenya says the economic impact of piracy cannot be overruled in COMESA states. He says many countries have reduced revenue in tourism and fisheries in East African ports due to piracy. Mr. Ngwenya adds that piracy is costing the global economy of a lot of millions because of high insurance premiums and enhancement of ship security, among others.
The economic impact of piracy cannot be overestimated or stated, as has been indicated by the head of the EU delegation. At the time that COMESA started to develop the program in 2010, 90% of Eastern and Southern Africa's regional trade by volume was transmitted by maritime transport. And the World Bank report released in 2013 estimates that it is costing the global economy 18 billion United States dollars annually. And this has been through the following activities. Firstly, rerouting ships through the Panama Canal, hence longer and more costly routes, because they've been trying to avoid the maritime area in the eastern part.
Meanwhile, European Union representative to Zambia, Ambassador Gilles Hevio, said maritime piracy affects everyone and that its primary motive is material gain. He says that the European grant of 5.4 million euros that has been given to COMESA will go a long way in curbing piracy. Ambassador Hevio says the high risk of piracy leads to disruption of trade routes, which in turn creates higher transport and insurance costs.
Approximately 90% of the Eastern and Southern Africa regional trade by volume is transported by sea. High risk of piracy leads to disruption of trade routes, creating higher transport costs, higher insurance costs, and as a result increased price, and has already had negative impact on tourism and fisheries industries. Over the years, combating maritime insecurity has been a priority for the European Union, combining political action, military operations, and substantial technical and financial support to the countries in Eastern, Southern Africa and the Indian Ocean.
Inspector General of Police Stella Livongani has commended all political parties that participated in the just ended by-elections for their maturity during and after the elections. Ms. Livongani says her service is thrilled with the manner in which all political parties exhibited themselves in ensuring that peace and unity prevailed during the by-elections. She explained that such behavior should be sustained to avoid occurrences of violence and public disorder. Ms. Ms. Libongani has further commended all police officers for their professional conduct during the course of duty. She states that the Zambia police shall always endeavor to promote law and order as well as security for all the people of Zambia. This is contained in a media statement availed to Prime TV by Inspector General of Police Stella Libongani. You are watching Prime Television's main news. We now take a break. Join me after that with more news.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Money.
Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. And also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Hi, I am Mr. Money, and I bring you Airtel Money, the fastest, safest way to send money, pay bills, top up, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
Girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
We continue with Prime Television's main news. Transparency International Zambia TIZ says the change of the pay point from the Ministry of Local Government and Housing to the Ministry of Finance cannot in any way be a solution to the abuse of Constituency Development Fund CDF. TIZ Executive Director Goodwill Lungu said this is because the misappropriation of funds takes place at the local implementation level where the funds are being released. Speaking in an interview in Lusaka, Mr. Lungu says his organization is aware that the measure was done in order to address the alleged misappropriation of CDF funds like what happened at the Ministry of Local Government recently. A news analyst, Mashila Kaseba, has advised journalists to be factual and avoid taking extreme ends. Speaking when he featured on Prime TV's News and Current Affairs program, Prime TV Daybreak, Mr. Kaseba says division in the media is agenda and destroys credibility. He says people in the country have different opinions on news stories and reporting, but taking extreme angles will cause division. Mr. Kaseba says journalists should be able to understand their work and investigate matters fully when writing stories.
People have many different opinions as many as there are people. So you need to bring all these sides. It's the more the better. So when you are biased, I think you asked me a similar question the other time. When you are biased, you lose the other side. You lose your credibility. That is where, as for example, as an analyst, as a critic, sometimes when you don't see the flaws, in something where there should be obvious flaws or lies. If you don't ask me a question, for example, that everyone will be looking forward to you asking me, people then start to say, oh, what is happening with Daniel? Why isn't he bringing out the obvious things? Why is he omitting to say this? So people see through that. So that really destroys the media. It's something we should avoid. And one of the issues we should also try to do is that whenever we fail to get, for example, a comment from the other side because of the polarization that you have referred to, sometimes some sources will refuse to give you a comment. Now, it is important to say we made an effort, not necessarily to justify yourself, but to say we made contact, and this is what he said.
Meanwhile, former Broadcasting and Information Minister Peter Matoka has died. The late former minister served in the first Zambian cabinet and was also a freedom fighter. He helped in the struggle for independence in the early 1960s when Zambia was fighting for its liberation. Mr. Matoka died in the early hours of this morning in his sleep at the University Teaching Hospital, UTH. His son Anthony Matoka confirmed the death to Prime TV News. The organizers of the Miss Zambia beauty pageant have lobbied government to invest more in the event as it has the potential to grow the economy of the country. Miss Zambia beauty pageant director Elizabeth Mwanza says if well supported, beauty pageants can reap economic positives for the country. And Miss Mwanza has advised parents not to stop their children wishing to participate in such events as they help shape the future of youths. Miss Mwanza said this during the award presentation to beauty pageants who participated in the Miss Lusaka Province beauty pageant held on Saturday. This year's Miss Zambia Province was schooled by Kandi Lupale, who walked away with a 5,000 kwacha.
The pageant was a great success, and I hope as we go further people understand the whole point of pageantry, and we hope that other people who are also doing pageants understand the purpose and necessity of pageantry. It's a mentoring process for young ladies. We have young ladies who are coming into the world, and what they need is that extra stepping stone to be confident, to be focused, and know what they want in life. When we get them at this age, our job is to actually direct them in the right direction.
Before we take our second and last break, we now give you an update on how the kwacha is trading against other major currencies as compiled by Prime TV Business Desk. Well, that's how the kwacha is currently trading against other major currencies. Join me after the break with a roundup of international news.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Money!
Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. And also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel money instantly. Hi, I am Mr. Money, and I bring you Airtel Money, the fastest, safest way to send money, pay bills, top up, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.
Girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
And now in international news, the judge in the trial of Oscar Pistorius is due to announce if the South African athlete is guilty of the culpable homicide of his girlfriend. Judge Thokozile Masipa declared him of murder on Thursday, saying the state had failed to prove he intended to kill the model Riva Steenkamp last year. Pistorius admits firing through a toilet door at his home but says he mistook Miss Steenkamp for an intruder, prompting tears from the Olympic and Paralympic sprinter. Judge Masipa said he could not have foreseen killing whoever was behind the door. She described his actions as negligent. The European Union has agreed to introduce new sanctions against Russia, targeting oil and defense firms, but could lift them if the Ukraine ceasefire holds, the EU has announced. A further 24 people, including Russia and Ukrainian separatists, have been slapped with travel bans and asset freezes under the sanctions. These sanctions come into force on Friday after sharp differences over whether their introduction might undercut peace efforts, with Moscow promising a forceful response. Russia said it had already drawn up new anti-Western sanctions targeting imports of consumer goods and second-hand cars, the AFP news agency reported. The 28-member state could then look at any other proposal urgently. And finally, in the news, we now give you more on these and other international stories as monitored by Al Jazeera.
The South African athlete Oscar Pistorius has been found guilty of culpable homicide in the killing of his girlfriend. Pistorius shot Riva Steenkamp through a bathroom door at his home last year. He has always maintained he mistook her for an intruder.
On count 1, murder read with section 51(1) of the Criminal Law Amendment Act 105 of 1997, the accused is found not guilty and is discharged. Instead, he is found guilty of culpable homicide.
The CIA says the number of fighters that have joined the Islamic State group is 3 times more than previously thought. US officials believe IS could have as many as 31,500 fighters. The group's taken control of much of northern Iraq and Syria. Meanwhile, French President François Hollande has arrived in Iraq, where he's meeting his Iraqi counterpart, Fouad Massoum. It's the first visit by a head of state since Islamic State fighters began their offensive in the north. France says it'll join the international military coalition against the IS group. Australia has raised its threat level to its second highest because of fears of a terrorist attack. Prime Minister Tony Abbott doesn't think an attack is imminent, but says Australians fighting with the Islamic State group in Iraq and Syria may pose a threat when they return home. Qatar says it mediated the release of 45 Fijian UN peacekeepers held captive in the Syrian Golan Heights. The group was freed by the Al-Qaeda-linked group, the Al-Nusra Front, on Wednesday. The peacekeepers were captured during fighting between the Syrian army and rebels last month. European sanctions targeting Russia have come into effect despite the threat of retaliation from Moscow. The sanctions were put in place over Russia's military involvement in eastern Ukraine. Major Russian oil firms, defense companies and state-owned banks will be denied access to finance in crucial European markets. The European Council says the sanctions could be lifted after a review of the recent truce at the end of the month. And severe flooding has trapped 200,000 people in Indian-administered Kashmir. Nearly 450 people have died and hundreds of thousands made homeless. In neighbouring Pakistan, almost 2 million people have been affected.
With that international roundup, we come to the end of the news, but just before we go, the headlines again. Increase in road accidents attributed to lack of motor vehicle fitness. COMESA and EU launch program to fight maritime piracy in COMESA member states. PF wins 3 of the 5 parliamentary by-elections. And finally, in international news, Pistorius found guilty of culpable homicide. That's all we had on our main news bulletin. On behalf of the entire news production team, my name is Martha Namanje. Have a pleasant viewing.
Hey girl, what's your name? Let me talk to you for just a minute. Where you live and what you like to do?
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
Okay, I'm just trying to get with someone real cause you look so free. So let's chill, have a drink with a guy like me.
Apple Max, baby. You need to give me Apple Max, baby.
A quality product from Californian Beverages.
Potato sticks, freaky fries. Get that awesome crunch.
Ladies and gentlemen, introducing Mr. Money.
Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Send your money instantly. Safety is guaranteed. It don't matter how far it is. It reaches safe and quickly. Pay your water bills immediately. And also pay for DSTV. Or top up airtime real quickly. Send your money instantly. Top up your airtime instantly. Pay your bills instantly. Airtel Money instantly. Hi, I am Mr. Money, and I bring you Airtel Money, the fastest, safest way to send money, pay bills, top up, and more. With Airtel Money, you can do more instantly.
Airtel Money. Simple, secure, instant.